Hey movie fans, welcome to this edition of Movies. And what gem have we got for you this week? So we've recently watched The Fabelmans, which starred Michelle Williams, Paul Dano, Gabriel LaBelle, or is that Gabriel LaBelle? Seth Rogen and Judd Hirsch. And it's directed by the famous Steven Spielberg. So this movie is a coming-of-age tale where it tells the story of a young boy and his Jewish post-World War II family in Arizona. The story is about a young Sammy Fabelman, who after his first visit to the cinema, where he went to see the greatest show on earth, is terrified by the train crash in the movie. Yet he still becomes obsessed with film and filmmaking and yearns to recreate the scene of the train crash. Now it's loosely based on Steven Spielberg's early life with his family. Spielberg said himself that he could only make this movie now that his mother has passed away because there's some very personal life experiences in this movie. Spielberg gives us an insight into his upbringing and the intimate details of his early life. It follows the family as the father, played by Paul Dano, who is a very clever engineer, gets better jobs and has to move around the country. Sometimes this unsettles the family. There is also a strange character called Uncle Benny, who isn't actually an uncle. He's played by Seth Rogen, and Uncle Benny is Dano's best friend and a close friend of the family. But the real two stars of this movie are Michelle Williams and Gabriel LaBelle, who play mother and son with standout performances. Also worth a mention is Judd Hirsch in a 9-minute cameo performance as Uncle Boris. Yes, you heard me right, only 9 minutes. But his excellent screen presence is a pivotal moment in the motivation of a young Sammy telling him to follow his heart. It's also a film about relationships, not only of Sammy, but of the family and friends around him. Now, I just love the early experimental movies that he made with his siblings and friends, as he was learning his craft along the way. Not only the craft of filmmaking, but also how important the editing process is. One of his early creations is a wonderful scene in this movie where he wants to make a scary movie with mummies. So he gets the toilet paper to wrap around his sisters to resemble Egyptian mummies. This is a really funny scene. As the movie progresses and he gets older, he gains more experience, and the movies that he makes and edits get more ambitious, and they have larger amounts of participants. And there's also a very important project he does for the school. The film shows how important editing is to the finished article, which is something that is often overlooked. Now, it is a longer film than standard, and it sits at 2.5 hours long. It didn't seem overlong to me. And like real life, it's not fast paced, but it tells a good story well. A story of Sammy's life from 7 to 18-ish. As I said, it's a coming of age movie. I loved the way it was filmed. I like the pace personally. As I said, life just rolls along, and that's what this movie does. You don't need to speed up a movie. And the use of the piano music by John Williams worked really well for me. So if ever you want inspiration to try filmmaking, watch this. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. It seems it's not for everyone, as I've seen mixed reviews. But sometimes when Spielberg is mentioned, Fans are waiting for the next big blockbuster fantasy film. And this movie certainly isn't that. What this movie is a much more personal film about real people and life experiences. So don't expect jaw-dropping moments like a giant stone ball or a huge shark. This is a well-shot movie with good acting, a good soundtrack, and an interesting story about the growth of a young boy and his life experiences. And as much as I loved this movie, it's not the best movie of the year, so my rating is probably around a 7.5 out of 10. I still highly recommend you go see it. So please subscribe to the channel. Anyone who already has, thank you very much. We do appreciate it. Hit the like button. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.